and welcome back to a new episode of Our Own Devices with Nandagopal Rajan. As always, this is Nandagopal Rajan or Nandu for short, and we are going to talk about projectors. Now, projectors is a slightly confusing segment for a lot of users, or it used to be, but the segment has evolved and changed into such a interesting technological device that can actually replace your television, or should I say replace your television and music system, or should I say replace your television, music system, and entertainment hub. That is the kind of space we are in, and I'm sure you don't know a lot of these details. So to talk about that is Vijay Sharma, who is the country head of Optoma Corporation. For those who don't know, Optoma is a big player in the projector space and has some really cutting edge products. We will talk about them as well as what's happening to the projector space. Uh, Mr. Sharma, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Nandu.
So Mr. Sharma, let me say, I was actually blown away by using your latest 4K projector. It's really I've used this phrase many times over the years. Saying bring your cinema home, but this is actually bringing the cinema home because it is not just a big screen experience, but it is also audio quality similar to what you have in your cinema theaters, right? It's a
Yeah.
complete experience. It really shakes up your house if you go full volume, and it also gives you access to literally any kind of content out there because it's a full-fledged Android device in a way.
Yes. So overall, I think that is what the innovation has been brought on the table in 2016 when Optima brings the latest 4K laser television and introduced in the Infocom show late that year, where it got many awards, and that is where we can truly say at that point of time, yes, the projectors has come into the home segment. Where it will definitely going to be very easy for any consumer to place and play on it. Earlier, like kind of installation hustles which many of the consumer goes through, it has been sorted out with the latest product lineup what Optima launched, that is that too 3 years back. And a lot of innovations is coming in where consumer itself can put this projector on, and it is like now become a gadget, where this
Yes.
3000 or 3500 NSI lumens with laser technology has put it on with the very strong 40-watt sound bar into it. So you are truly said that where the projectors will actually going and giving a large display on give the option to the consumers to use it.
So while your cinema range is expensive, if you look at it in a way, but if you look at how it compares against a television which gives you a similar screen size, then it is not expensive, right? Like if you're really looking
Yeah.
for a large screen size, a projector actually makes much more sense even from the cost factor. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. If you compare the per inch, the cost of per inch display of televisions versus the projector, so projectors becomes more affordable in that way. So where consumer can actually see 100 inches display at home, which is like very affordable for them, instead of going for say 75 inches or and above TV sets at that point of time. So comparing that, the size of the display of television comparing to the projectors, it is much affordable, I will say. And a lot of innovations are into place where consumer will go from say 80 inches and goes up to say 300 inches, which can be now possible in current trend where consumers are moving from their large from their city houses now to their hometowns. So there they are playing a lot of large television screens, and they are putting the projector screens over there. So replacement
Interesting.
of televisions is moved into projectors.
It's an interesting point that I hadn't thought of, that people are actually moving back to larger homes in smaller towns, from the bigger smaller homes in the larger cities. Right, it's also
Yes,
true
yes.
that it's a pandemic effect in a different way, and I actually know a few people who have done that. The other thing
Yeah.
which is very interesting is that it is really awkward to see a 100-inch screen or a TV inside your home, but a projector does not have a screen, so it actually vanishes the moment you switch off the image, right? Like you watch a movie and then it's not there because an Optoma, or for that matter, most of the projectors are quite small. They come on a TV stand and it stays there. You don't have to hang it from a wall, so it actually vanishes once your its job is done. So it's actually much more convenient in a way compared to a television also.
So I think that is where the portability plays an important role, where the televisions has to be hang on the wall, and where projectors is like, okay, you watch particular show and you can replay again, put that projector back to wherever you want to keep it. It not necessarily to be hanged from the ceiling, or it has to be there on the table all the time. So just for when your family members are together, you will just bring in the projector, place it on the table, watch it your show, and then put it back wherever the projector was earlier line. So you can just watch with your family and friends together, with the sound and with the screen which is coming up. Say now the projectors are, which I think has moved, which all of us are seeing now. 4K is a trend. 4K USD is a trend which is picking up very well with the content availability, with the OTT platforms which are easily available on where users can go and watch their preferable shows on it. So there it brings lot of even the technology innovation as well as the content availability onto the platter to the customers.
We spoke about how the projector is now capable of replacing the television, especially the large screen television. But are consumers looking at it that way? What are the sort of consumers who are picking up a portable projector or even a high end projector like the cine range that you have?
I will say, because even if we talk about say 10 years back or say 5 years back, the projectors, the 4K projectors, the become it was like not very handy. It was quite large in sizes. So that is why the integrators used to suggest to the consumers that you either put it all on the ceiling, or you do a wall mounting kind of a solution to it. So where installations has to be done with these projectors, which is not easy to carry again from one room to other room, or moving away. So but now this has been very easily the sizes has been reduced, and it becomes more portable. The 4K projector, the entry level, or say the which is the projectors which are easily movable, are starting from around 2.3 or 2 kgs itself. So consumer will move one projector, well, keeping one projector in the living room and then taking it to the bedroom if somebody want to watch it. So there it is very very convenient for the consumer for using it and taking from one place to other place wherever it is using. And there even the for somebody want to watch it on the say 200 and 250 inches screen, there the people are using for their dedicated home cinema or home theater rooms. So they put it a large screen over there and then they are watching it. So there are multiple usages which comes into the picture.
Again, to do a little bit of a deep dive, are actually people using it as like replacing it with a television, in a sense that they are watching everything on it, like from
Yeah.
news to, is that kind of a use case also coming up? Or is it more of a big family occasion, watch a movie together during the weekend or watch a match together, as it happens? So has that also evolved? I'm asking this also because earlier when you were buying projectors, you were also very mindful about the lamp time, because there used to be an end date, or like you can't really run it like 24 hours because you're going to kill the lamp faster, and the lamps used to be very very expensive at one point of time. So and as of now, I think one innovation that's happened in space, that the lamps are also now lasting much longer. So does that mean users are also using it even actually in a 24/7 kind of use case also?
Yes. So from that point of view, I say the lamp. First of all, within the lamp technology, a lot of evolution or innovation has come in place. Earlier, the lamp life last up to say not more than say 8,000 hours, or maximum eight and a half thousand hours. Now it has been gone up to 15,000 hours within the lamp technology. But now the from Optima, since we are putting a lot of innovations in place, we are introducing projectors with laser technology, which is like lamp free. It will, in the normal usage, it goes up to 30,000 hours. So it is not, it's like you can even run, being a laser technology, these projectors can run for 24 by 7 operations. And you can, once it has been installed, you don't have to change the consumption, you don't have to change the lamp for the projectors. So it is like people are using it for say many years, don't have to change the projector or say lamp into it. So that is what the innovation has come into place. Second thing, when we talked about the projectors, now most of the projectors have become smart projectors. So where the convenience of usage with this your mobile technology, or whatever the OTT platform you are using, you don't have to plug in some external resources into it. So it can easily project from your Wi-Fi devices onto the screens. So that is how the projectors has been evolved from past few years.
It is interesting that you brought up the point about smart projectors, like, which also means that they are doing almost everything that a smart TV can do. But they're also, like, so Android does not have a version which is basically made for projectors. Is that a problem? Is that a solution? Are you seeing a solution come up soon, or is it not really needed because you can actually use the same software that you would use on televisions?
Actually, when I say the smart projector, definitely Android versions comes as a pre-installed within the projector. So
Yeah.
these projectors or these Android versions used to be upgraded for the future by upgrading the firmware. Earlier firmware upgradations happens through say some engineer will come and then they plug in some pen drive or say then
Yeah.
accordingly they will upgrade it. Now these upgradations of firmwares comes over the air. So OTA platforms are there in the projector that customer don't have to call out the engineer and upgrade the firmware. This has been upgraded over the air through the when the head office or the manufacturers say release the new firmware. So these technology adaptations which is there in the televisions now, it is very much easily is now available with the projectors and the technology. That is how it has been enhanced and very easy for the consumer to do it.
Earlier, when I was testing, I would be testing a projector, I would bring out my hard drive which would have these, high resolution 4K, videos which I had got from somebody, and I would play them. But now content is so easily accessible. You can get 8K also on YouTube if you want these days. And Netflix is there, Amazon Prime is there, they all give you 4K natively. How much has this access to high quality content or high resolution content increased the adoption of 4K projectors in India?
Now when I say, when we were talking about say adaptation of technology, now one earlier we had a lot of issues in terms of we have to play only through Blu-ray player or say any DVD players. When you rightly said you have your hard disk and you plug in, earlier it was only possible you plug in these hard drives or say pen drives on, through a USB player on the projector. Sorry, not on the USB on the projector, it was on the Blu-ray players or the DVD players. Now it is very much possible that these hard disk drives you can plug in directly to the projector, and projector can able to read this 4K content easily. So one, that is very much possible within the projector, that you don't have to go to external device and connect via projector. So projector itself is smart enough to read this content through your hard drives or pen drives for the up to 4K contents. Second thing, adaptation of the say 4K on the Netflix or Amazon Prime videos or others. So this much has this adaptation has give lot of even I say opportunity for the brands or the projector players, where these contents are easily available now. People are now buying already have these subscriptions with them, and this 4K content availability is basically is increasing the trend where the consumer is basically moved and buying the 4K USD projectors, and the trend is very much visible in sales. When we saw earlier the in the home segment, the sale was primarily dominated by the full HD projectors. Now it has been shifted to 4K USD projectors. It is like, I can say earlier it was like 80-20, so 20% is only 4K and 80% was full HD. Now the trend has changed. It is almost like 70% is 4K and 30% is full HD as the overall market, if I talk about. And that is where this adaptation of the technology and the content gives a leeway to even to the manufacturers.
Also, how much of a bump have you got because of the pandemic? With people stuck at homes and with no access to cinema theaters, and also looking at new ways to entertain themselves. So, how much of a bump have you got because of the pandemic?
Overall, as an industry, first if I talk about industry, got a big bump, I will say, because overall industry was almost 60-65% down due to pandemic.
Yeah,
Reason is very clear that projectors, the major consumptions was happen in education, or say corporate
true.
institutions. But due to pandemic, lot of it gives lot of opportunity to the manufacturers to rethink of their target audience. When we say target audience, it has moved from education, it has gone to home. So in home segment, where earlier the consumers, the consumption was hardly of the overall market, were around 8 or 9%, it is now almost around 30% of the overall. So it is like 300 to 400% growth in the home segment over the year. So pandemic has actually given opportunity to the many brands to refocus on the home segment. And as a brand for Optima, we took, I think we got the maximum advantage out of it, where our presence in home segment was quite wide. The kind of solutions we are offering in home was like, I think the widest solutions from 1080p up to 4K USD, from lamp to laser. So where we got almost, the market has grown by 300%. Optima growth in the home segment is grown by 400%. So today we are like a market leader in this, and it gives a lot of opportunity to even help us to increase the overall business. So pandemic actually helped to rethink and refocus on the home category.
So, going ahead, what are the kind of innovations we should expect in this space?
One definitely, since the technology in terms of one point which I think we have discussed earlier, the lamp, which is lamp is a consumable part within the projector, where consumer always think about, oh, I have to change the lamp and the lamp cost this much. Even today, many consumers talks about the same. So one innovation you can see in future is going to be laser. So our portfolio, like Optima, as one of the leaders in projector and bringing the latest technology in the world, so most of our range will become like laser. So we might, in by say next 2 to 3 years, we might come out completely out of the lamp technology, and most of or 100% of our product portfolio will be with laser technology. So that is one innovation you will see. Second thing, the 4K, right now the 4K USD is the one which is available. Definitely, you can see going forward it will be 8K. So 8K projectors becomes a new normal going forward. So that is how the technology is being evolved, and the smart projector, which is now working from quite some time, so it will become more technologically advanced in terms of having more aptoid in the projectors, and more software items will be available so in the marketplace, so consumer can easily can access to it. So these are the few innovations you can definitely see going forward.
And one last question, Vijay, is 3D still a big thing in the projector space? Because often projectors still have 3D capability, but it's not as it is not as pronounced or in your face as it used to be maybe 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, 3D used to be maybe a selling point, but 3D doesn't seem to be that much interesting anymore. Is that true, or is it because people don't really want 3D? How has that evolved?
I will say 3D, because this 3D technology is available, as you mentioned very correctly. It was available 5 or 6 years back, and it was a big talking point at that point of time. Now all the projectors are in our range are 3D capable. So even within the projector manufacturers, this the technology has evolved from active 3D technology to passive 3D technology. Even after introducing this much, now it's not much, it's not no more 3D is a selling picture. So now it is like available within the projectors, but none of our brands was talking much about the 3D technology.
Thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Sharma, and it was very insightful conversation about a space that is, I think, becoming more and more popular across India. You will see, even now, if you walk into people's homes, you see that the TV has slowly been replaced by a projector, and I am thinking that this is going to become a bigger trend in the coming years. Thanks for being on the show, and that is Vijay Sharma of Optoma Corporation.
Thank you so much.
This is Nandagopal saying bye. We'll be back again next week with another guest and more insight from the space of technology. Our podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast.